Hi there, this is David and welcome to my review of Save Me Mr. Tako Definitive Edition, an indie, retro-inspired adventure game for the PC, Nintendo Switch, and 3DS. Maybe it's just me, but lately I've been finding myself not enjoying new games as much as I used to. For example, I made a review about 13 Sentinels Aegis Ring where I pretty much said that I thought that it was overrated garbage, yet everybody else said that it was great. Then, there's me loving Brave the Default 2, while I heard all these other people saying that it was generic, old school, and trite. Well, excuse me, princess, but I like old school things. And thankfully, Save Me Mr. Tako is unabashedly old school. In fact, upon starting it up, the first thing that you're going to notice is the monochromatic screen, 100% inspired by Nintendo's Game Boy. Then, you can go into the options menu where you can change the border and the colors, just as you would have done back on the Super Game Boy for the SNES. At first I was thinking that the game was going to be like a Zelda clone, something along the lines of Link's Awakening, especially whenever I saw that there were 3 saves available, as well as the 3 difficulty settings where the easiest setting said that you had 3 more hearts than normal. I, of course, played on the easiest setting because I just want a fun, relaxing jaunt. I don't want to be stressed out. However, even on that easiest setting, there were some challenging moments, but nothing hard, frustrating, or unfair. Upon starting the actual game up, I realized that while Save Me Mr. Tako is definitely inspired by the old classics, it certainly is its own beast. There's a little Link's Awakening here and there, but honestly, the biggest influence that I'm really getting here is actually Kirby's Adventure, especially in its overworld system, where after you complete one level, another door opens up guiding you on to the next level. And speaking of those levels, each stage is set up in a very Kirby-like manner, with multiple branching paths, multi-part stages separated by doors, and enemies flying all over the screen. Unlike Kirby though, Mr. Tako can't absorb enemies' powers. He instead fires balls of ink, which immobilize the enemies instead of killing them. Once the enemies are stunned for roughly 5 seconds, you can push, pull, or jump on them to use them as stepping stones throughout the stages. It gave me those Valkyrie profile vibes. Remember how there you would freeze enemies and climb on them to get to new and higher areas? It's sort of the same thing here, but in a much more action-y game. It's not all action though. There's plenty of puzzles to be had as well. Every 3 to 4 stages you're going to get kind of like a mini-boss stage. Think those castle stages in Super Mario Bros. 3. These stages are filled to the brim with puzzles, switches, and new mechanics. You'll be using your ink to hit switches and quickly go through newly opened passages, or you'll just be shot all over the place with flowers, just like you used to be shot around in barrels in the Donkey Kong Country SNES games. And don't forget that there are locked doors, hidden alcoves, and treasure chests strewn all throughout, filled with hats. Hats are the power-up system of the game. While Kirby absorbs enemies, Mr. Tako is somewhat of a fashionista, and he dons a new hat when he wants to increase his powers. There are 50 hats in all, and the powers range from increasing your heart meter, to shooting arrows, to creating a bouncing orb, or to shitting out flowers constantly. You can change your hat at a hat shop in town, or at a checkpoint, or even seemingly at will by pressing X. But I was actually confused here a little because sometimes I would have access to hats that I found, and other times I wouldn't. I just found myself wishing that I could press the start button, go into a menu, equip a hat that I wanted, and then move on. But unfortunately, no such feature existed. Exploration is the name of the game here, as you're going to be constantly jumping around, and thankfully, if you're close enough to a platform, Mr. Tako will just kind of like grab onto it. I loved this feature, since it made something normally frustrating into something seamless, forgiving, and fun. It definitely behooves you to explore every nook and cranny for the aforementioned hats and treasures, but also for the extra lives, ink refills, and diamonds. Diamonds aren't currency in the way that they are in Zelda, they're more like coins in a Mario game, where once you collect 100, you get an extra life. The controls are completely intuitive. If you've played a Game Boy or an NES game, you can play this one. It's the exact same control scheme. There's no weird button combinations or Z targeting to learn here. It's just a ton of fun from the moment that you start the game up. The setting is rather whimsical, as Mr. Tako is an octopus at war with humanity, yet he finds himself rather on the outs with his kind, as he saves a human, Then he journeys forth through the underwater octopus world to the world above, where he sets off to help restore peace to the 3 warring kingdoms. Honestly, I wasn't really playing the game for the story, though there is a lot there if you take the time to talk to all the NPCs in the many towns. You can really tell that a lot of time, effort, and love went into this gem, and for only $15 on Steam, you really can't go wrong. I hope that you enjoyed this review of Save Me Mr. Tako. Have you played the game? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video and what I do here on the channel, please consider heading on over to the Discord to chat and hang out, or supporting me on Patreon for exclusive videos and early access to my new top 10s. The link to them can be found in the video description. This has been David. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.